Hello and warm welcome to Federal Special Program Capital Beat. Sunetra Pawar, wife of deceased Nationalist Congress Party leader Ajit Pawar, is all set to become the first woman Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra. As we speak right now, just a short while back, she's been elected as the leader of the legislature party. This meeting started somewhere around 2 or 2:30, and she has been unanimously elected. Now, the 62-year-old Sunetra Pawar is not a member of either house of the Maharashtra legislature. Sharad Pawar, in the meanwhile, spoke to various news channels this morning, and he said that he was not aware of Sunetra's swearing in. Shiv Sena UBT leaders, in the meanwhile, also have questioned the sudden haste surrounding Sunetra Pawar's oath-taking ceremony as the Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister. And this coming just 4 days after Ajit Pawar died in the Baramati plane crash. Now, the big questions are that what were the compulsions behind projecting Sunetra Pawar as the Deputy CM? They might as well could have just waited for another 13 days for all the rituals to get over, and then she could have been appointed as the Deputy CM. So what were the compulsions? That's what we are going to understand. And a bigger question than that is that can Sunetra keep the NCP flock together? That is a big question. And what happens to the merger of the NCP? One section of the NCP saying that yes, the merger was on the cards, the other section denying it. So, what is the future of NCP? And will Sunetra Pawar be able to take her own decisions, or she's going to be remote controlled by Delhi? These are all questions which are on everybody's mind. We'll try and discuss all of this. Joining me this evening is Sanjay Jog, senior journalist and political commentator, someone who's there at the Mantralaya, and he's going to shortly attend the swearing-in ceremony as well. Thank you so much, Sanjay, for joining. We have Smriti Kopikar, another senior journalist and political commentator, someone who's followed the Maharashtra politics for decades. Thank you so much, Smriti, for joining. We have Vivek Deshpande, senior journalist and political commentator. Thank you so much, Vivek, for joining. And let me begin with Sanjay because he has to rush for the swearing-in. So, Sanjay, what are you hearing from your sources? In the morning when we spoke on the phone, you said you were having a word with Praful Patel. Now, in the last 48 hours, what happened really? What were the compulsions? Why Sunetra Pawar, in the middle of the morning period, was forced to swear in as the Deputy CM?
Let's talk about that. You know, the events which are unfolding. On Wednesday, Ajit Pawar dies. On Thursday, he was cremated. Immediately on Wednesday night also, because I was at Baramati, Mr. Praful Patel, Chhagan Bhujbal, Tatkare and Munde had a short meeting with Sunetra, of course, to condole the death. On the following day after the funeral, again, they met. The overall, you know, the speed with which the entire things are happening are quite puzzling. The impression within, I can authoritatively say, within the party is that let's crack and just get into action. Why? Because there has been a much of pressure which is coming in from the rank and file that unless and until somebody from Pawar family takes it oath or maybe becoming the legislative party leader, it will be difficult to keep, as you rightly said, flock together. They are literally not aware whether somebody from non-Pawar will take over, then there will be a major issue. So, I was with discussion with couple of legislators and then Mr. Praful Patel, Tatkare, that made them, basically both of them, to arrive at a discussion that it is the time and the time is right that Sunetra...
No, so you are saying, Sanjay, allow me to interrupt you here because there'll be several questions. Sanjay, so is it because of the pressure coming in from Praful Patel and Sanjay Tatkare?
No, Sunil Tatkare, that's one of the theory. Nilu, you are right. Section of the party clearly says that the both are averse to have a kind of a possible merger or a reunion. So that's why they wanted to make it or just hasten this swearing in and her election. And that has happened. Second, very interestingly, why they wanted to go? Because, and Mr. Sharad Pawar made it very clear, you know, politics and family issues are completely different. And he was not at all aware, neither he was consulted, neither he was kept in the loop. So, and repeatedly, at least on 4 occasions, during the press conference in Baramati.
But Sanjay, Sharad Pawar's statement people would take it with a pinch of salt. As someone of his political acumen, he didn't have a sense at all that Sunetra would be swearing in as deputy CM is highly unbelievable.
Not at all. It is a belief. It is a reality. Man, I think you may now not have followed that. After Sharad Pawar came out with the statement, Ajit Pawar's elder son Parth and Rohit Pawar, his grandnephew, literally rushed to Govind Bagh, his residence in Baramati, to inform him that such and such things are happening, unfolding events are taking place, and wherein she will be elected unanimously, quote unquote, as a legislative party leader, and subsequently at 5 o'clock she will be sworn in. So that's why, and all the time, try to understand. Pawar was very, indicative in his statement. What he clearly said, at least on 4 to 5 occasions, he reiterated the names of, and that too in Marathi, Shriyut Praful Patel, Shriyut Sunil Tatkare. I mean, he wanted to indicate these are the two senior most leaders within the Ajit Pawar faction. They must be rushing to have this kind of a development to take place. And I am not aware, neither even the party legislature from Ajit Pawar camp were aware of such kind of things that will happen in such fast.
No, but
Third,
I'm
very
failing to understand. I'm failing to understand that what was the haste which was in Praful Patel's and Sunil Tatkare's mind. Were they afraid that their files will be opened if the merger happens? Were those the compulsions on their mind? I just want to understand, because Praful Patel and Sunil Tatkare at the end of the day knew that this was a mourning period. But to manufacture and engineer a situation like this is really beyond comprehension.
Nilu, you are talking just little, a lot of things which are later, which are happening. The first and the fundamental thing for Mr. Praful Patel and Tatkare to arrive at a decision, to avoid merger. Listen, when they broke away from Mr. Pawar and again going back to and having a merger, and Mr. Pawar still there in quite action mode, they are not at all, it seems, in a mood to accept his leadership again, when they have already got a kind of a working relationship and a bonhomie with BJP. So they were totally not in alignment with maybe Ajit Pawar, which must have thought of coming out of BJP and join hands with that. That's one. Second, why, as you rightly said, why they were basically going ahead with this kind of development? Because they wanted to have this happen, as they may see that the merger may not take place in the near future. Because you try to understand, why such a hurry only to get her elected and also swearing in, when nobody knows who will head the party? That's another question to be looked into.
Right. Okay. So, interesting turn of events there, and baffling too, if I may say. Now, Rohit Chandavarkar also has joined, senior journalist and political commentator. Rohit, I may come to you now, and then I'll come to Smriti. That everybody is talking about the sudden haste. Why this haste was needed to project Sunetra Pawar as the deputy CM. Now, what happens to NCP now? What happens to the merger? Is merger totally out of the windows now?
It's very obvious that there is a lobby in Ajit Pawar's NCP. Ajit Pawar is no more, we know, but his NCP, which does not want the two factions to come together. And, it is clearly obvious that they are towing the line that has been perhaps decided by the BJP. The policy, it looks like, has been decided by the BJP top leadership. And it is very obvious that the BJP does not want Sharad Pawar's faction and Ajit Pawar's faction to merge, which was what was discussed perhaps a few times in their meetings in the recent past. And those details with videos are coming out in regional Marathi media. And that's becoming quite sensational. In fact, OTT platforms are just going hammer and tongs over that. Some meeting perhaps that happened on 17th of January, where Ajit Pawar is discussing things with Sharad Pawar and his top leaders. That has created a sensation. But and regional print media is also reporting in a big way how BJP has completely taken control, so to speak, of the Ajit Pawar faction. Look, it was very obvious that NCP, both factions, I would say, are facing an existential crisis in Maharashtra, just like the two factions of Thackeray brothers And we saw what happened in case of Thakre's. They reunited and all that happened, and they got into a seat sharing formula which was predicted, and they fought the elections. And Uddhav Thackeray has done reasonably well in Mumbai, perhaps. Raj Thackeray has not. We saw a similar situation with NCP because they realized that it would become difficult for them to survive if they fought as two different parties. They also united and they also fought the municipal corporation polls, in which Ajit Pawar could not really perform the way he expected or everybody expected him to perform, especially in Pune and Pimpri Chinchwad municipal corporations, which are his home turf, his home ground. Previous to that, in the Nagar Parishad, Nagar Panchayat elections, he did reasonably well in Pune district, Baramati, Indapur, all that area, but could not really score too much. And Sharad Pawar's party has done very poorly in both these elections, Nagar Parishad as well as Nagar Panchayat polls. Now, coming to your question, why is there this hurry? Why is this happening and all of that? Look, within 7-8 days, on 7th February, actually, the Jilla Parishad or district council polls are happening in Maharashtra, in which there was big talk of how both NCP factions will fight together and how they will fight on the same symbol. At least in the shows that I appeared in the last few days on national TV and regional TV, the NCP said clearly that they will be fighting on the clock symbol, etc. So this is the big thing that is upcoming now. There is going to be a sympathy wave for the NCP, generally speaking, and the NCP perhaps is going to do very well because of that sympathy wave in the upcoming 12 district council polls in Maharashtra, where polling was originally scheduled for 5th February, but it has been postponed to 7th February now. Now, Praful Patel, Sunil Tatkare and others want to kind of take control of the clock symbol and this party because they know there will be some existence, some good performance in these Jilla Parishad polls. And post those polls, they might be in some kind of bargaining position with the BJP, saying, look, we have presence in Maharashtra, Western Maharashtra at least. So that is one important angle why all this has been done in a hurry. The second factor which Sanjay Zog presented, and he knows a lot about NCP and the Pawar family, and perhaps he knows more than any of us on this panel today. And I agree with him that there is clearly a rift between the Pawars, and you can call it, a soap opera kind of drama, if I may say so, happening or unfolding between Supriya and Sunetra Pawar. So
Right.
in our regional media, I called it, something like a television soap opera where this is a tussle between Supriya Pawar and Sunetra Pawar, perhaps you can call it that, because obviously if Sharad Pawar takes control of this united NCP, in case they unite, it will be Supriya Sule who will be calling the shots, not Sunetra. Like Sanjay mentioned, it is clear that Praful Patel and Sunil Tatkare do not want to work under Sharad Pawar anymore. And
Right.
that is the reason they are presenting Sunetra as the face. And last line I want to say is, all this is happening according to BJP's convenience. It is very obvious, and all experienced journalists on this panel would know that it is BJP that is calling the shots and controlling these leaders of Ajit Pawar's faction, who are seen on TV right now, at the NCP Ajit Pawar faction meeting, and you'll see them at the swearing in of Sunetra Pawar standing beside her. That is the long and short of it, Niru.
Right. So, you also pointed out, Sanjay also pointed out that this almost looks like a script which has been written by the BJP. BJP is calling all the shots. Smriti, if I may come to you now, what do you think? Why do you think the BJP has tried to do this kind of a Pawar play, if I may say? How does it help BJP? I mean, is it trying to keep the Shinde option, Shinde at bay, and because all was not well between Eknath Shinde and the BJP. We all know the kind of equation Devendra Fadnavis had with Eknath Shinde. So is it to keep Shinde at bay that this kind of a script was a necessity? It was a need of the hour for the BJP. Yes, Smriti.
Thank you. I think between Rohit and Sanjay, they've managed to explain a lot about this. I want to really take your question and go back to June of 2022, when there was that split in the Shiv Sena, and it is an open secret about who engineered the split, what kind of capital flowed at that time in what directions, and all of that. It's common knowledge. It's an open secret, as I said. And so the reason has been since then for the BJP to keep a lever or two of control if they can manage it. Because if the other parties get together, if a united Shiv Sena, united NCP, that really makes the BJP uncomfortable, both in terms of its influence and in terms of its numbers. And the more elections they fight, they realize the need to keep the opposition divided. And in this case, extremely divided. And the recent results, especially in the municipal corporation, the marquee Mumbai Municipal Corporation, showed after everything that the BJP poured into the election, they could manage just a handful more than what they had in 2017. And so they thought they would be they would have a simple majority rule, not just Mumbai, but other corporations. And then they realized that it's not all that simple, because all said and done, whatever level of Chanakyagiri and whatever level of election management, the fact is people do have a free will, and I guess some people do vote freely at the end of the day. And so this realization that we can't steamroll the politics of this state the way we want is a realization that has sat with the BJP, that has sort of got embedded in the BJP for a while now, for a few years. And that lay behind that split in 2022, where the Shiv Sena was first split, and then in 23, the NCP was split. Both were engineered splits. And the engineer in this case was clearly the dominant ruling party. Now, under these circumstances, there is really nothing that has changed in the last 2 or 3 or 4 years for the BJP to not worry if the NCP factions come together. And as Rohit pointed out, when the Shiv Sena, the two cousins came together and fought, they did manage to do well, probably much better than the BJP would have given them credit for. And in some cases, maybe even in some seats, maybe even surpassed the projections. And so the relevance right now is for the opposition to remain divided. On its own, it may not be so. And therefore, that division has to be engineered, nurtured, and continued. And then when you see what happened yesterday, today, in the back against this background, you realize which script Sunetra Pawar and others are following, or Mr. Praful Patel, Sunil Tadkare, and others. Clearly, the reins are not in their hands, because
No, but if I
I
may
do want to
interrupt
mention
you.
this, Neelu.
Yes, Smriti, an important
I do
point,
want
because
to
you
mention this,
yeah,
that
go ahead.
the Pawars have never been an extremely pious and devout family. In fact, they border on a level of non-ritualism, almost agnostic, if not completely atheist. Ajit Pawar has gone on record to say that he's not somebody who does puja path at 7 o'clock in the morning and all of that. So yes, maybe granted that they would not carry out the typical Hindu mourning period, which in some families and communities lasts for a year, in some for 40 days, but at least minimum for the 10th to 13th day, when certain rituals are done, and then the kind of soul is believed to have found its way. But imagine that the grieving family did not even get 48 hours to do the grieving and the mourning, or whatever kind of rituals or remembrances that they wanted to do. So clearly, there was some really forceful impulse at play here. And that impulse is clearly that, yes, we want the NCP to stay divided. And why is that? Why would the ruling party want a divided NCP? Because they are not sure that a unified NCP under Mr. Sharad Pawar will definitely be on their side, because he's walked the mile up to the last point and then pulled back on a number of occasions in the last 5-10 years. But B, also that the ruling party cannot allow Eknath Shinde to become too big for his boots. If he's the only ally, then that is what he will become. The levers of power keep changing, and I'm not sure the BJP is really comfortable with that.
Right. So the two things, that Shinde also has to be kept at bay. The opposition has to remain divided. All that was working on the mind. But Sanjay, one quick question to you, and then I'll come to Vivek. That who finally prevailed upon Sunetra Pawar? Was she ready to take up this job? What I'm told, and I think you would be able to shed more light on this, was it Parth Pawar who finally told her that the need of the hour is to take up this post of the Deputy CM? Whose word was the final word for Sunetra Pawar? Was it
Nilu,
Yes.
I will just take you when she was elected to the Rajya Sabha. It was Parth who was insisting that my mother will be the obvious choice to be the Rajya Sabha member, and she got elected unopposed. This time also, I will recall, because I have got a confidential information, so-called quote unquote, while they were traveling towards Baramati from Delhi in a chartered plane, the discussion was around, now what will happen to our party? Supriya was also present. Praful was there. The overall this thing that Parth was all the time insisting is that in the absence of my father, it was obviously a natural choice will be my mother, and he prevailed over. You may believe or you may not believe, but this is the stark reality. Secondly, as Mr. Pawar, that's why has been, in that Marathi press conference, one of the reporters asked him whether do you have any kind of a communication from Parth, or have you been kept in the loop by Parth? He categorically said, I have not. I mean, just read between the lines. It was all Parth's play, and it has really worked. And ultimately, I'll just tell you why. Yesterday also, when Praful Patel and Sunil Tatkare approached Sunetra Vaini, quote unquote, so it was a Parth who first came on the line, and ultimately all it was decided that Sunetra Vaini will definitely take over as the legislature party leader, and ultimately on the same day she will be sworn in. So it is Parth who is going to who has called the shot. And now second, very interestingly, it is quite clear now she will be definitely get elected, quote unquote, again and unopposed from Baramati in a biennial election. At the same time, it has paved way for Parth to go to the upper house. That's again, it's Parth which is clearly, charting this entire path. One question, quite interesting. When Mr. Pawar was posed a question about, all this is being structured and designed by one Naresh Arora of the design box. He literally, came out with that. Even I don't know who is Naresh Arora. So why at the time he wanted to tell out that it is all because of Parth Pawar, and then it was carried forward by all the time repeating by Shriyut Praful Patel and Shriyut, Sunil Tatkare. So quite clearly, as you rightly said, it is Parth Pawar who has definitely worked in favor of his mother to take the charge.
Right. So
Nilu,
finally now,
yeah.
okay.
If you don't mind, can
yes.
I withdraw? I'll have to go.
Yes. Okay, Sanjay, thank you so much. And I'll quickly come to the questions now.
Yeah,
to
thanks
Vivek
a lot. Thanks a lot. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Sanjay.
yeah,
Thank you so much.
yeah.
Vivek, now the question that Sunetra Pawar is going to swear in as the Deputy CM at 5 o'clock is a swearing-in ceremony. What about her competence? What about her caliber? Will she be able to pull along as far as all the political needs of the situation are concerned? How much? I mean, who is Sunetra Pawar? People have known her as a lady who always remained in the shadows, except that when she fought the 2024 elections and she came to Rajya Sabha, often in Parliament we used to see her accompanying Sudha Murthy very often. And always refraining from giving sound bites as well. So will she be able to pull off this kind of a post with all the responsibility, and a lot of comparisons will always be made with what Ajit Pawar was and now what she will bring to the party.
Yeah, and this question really believes. I mean, it's on the basis of. It's not on the basis of any competence that Sunetra Pawar has been incorporated into the ministry. The considerations are quite different. I mean, whether she will be able to perform as a minister as good as or even half as good as Ajit Pawar was able to do is absolutely irrelevant. This was a political project, and they wanted to draft her into the BJP scheme of things. They have done that, and whether she performs as deputy chief minister or not, that doesn't matter, because for BJP, it was never the consideration. If we look at the whole background of this story, then we know for sure that these two NCPs were going to come together, and the timeline had been fixed. Maybe around 8th of February or 10th of February, they were going to come together, and that had left the BJP squirming, because they didn't they had toiled hard to break the party, and they didn't want the party to unite again, and they also needed NCP led by Ajit Pawar to stay separate, because they wanted to divide the secular vote. Now, with the two powers coming together, it was quite likely that they would part ways with the BJP, because what Sharad Pawar has said today makes it amply clear. If they were to go together with BJP, then Sharad Pawar would have been on board with this swearing in as well, right? So because he doesn't want to go with the BJP or Sunetra Pawar, it clearly means that when the two powers were coming together, they were planning to come together and unite again. Then the most likelihood of things was for the NCP to part ways with the BJP. So that was what was in the air, and that is what had made BJP very uneasy, and that's why they scripted this plan. Now, if you look at the accident itself, you go back to the accident, and after the accident, the turn of events, then you tend to look at even the accident with suspicion. I mean, the manner in which things have been speeded up, and the hasty and the manner in which she has been given oath, clearly shows the BJP's BJP being the force multiplier, the force behind this whole thing. So the point is, whether Sunetra Pawar, why do they want Sunetra Pawar to be drafted in? One, because she is a Maratha, and rest of the leaders of the Ajit Pawar group, all the four prominent leaders whose names are being taken, they are non-Marathas. So, and there is a huge empire in Western Maharashtra of cooperative societies and sugar factories, which Ajit Pawar and his family have a sway over, and the BJP cannot
No, but there are
let
also
go of it.
reports, Vivek, if I may just interrupt you, and then I'll come to Rohit, that, I mean, have you also heard of some pressure coming in from the sugar lobby as well on Sunetra Pawar?
No, I have not heard anything, but this is my loud thinking, because Ajit Pawar controlled about 20 odd sugar factories, and there was a distinct Maratha vote behind him in that particular area. I think they badly wanted Sunetra Pawar or one of the Pawar family members to be someone at a very higher echelon in the BJP scheme of things. They did it. They did it, and they expect and they hope that because Sunetra Pawar is now with them, they might be able to control a lot of these Maratha votes and a lot of these cooperative societies and sugar factories. And as we know, Amit Shah is the cooperative minister in Union Cabinet. So, who is the script writer? One can certainly imagine. And whether Sunetra Pawar will have that kind of sympathy now, as is being predicted, that is $1 million question, because the hasty manner in which she has agreed to be drafted into this government without letting all those 13-day rituals to get over, people will
So you are
certainly
saying
not
that,
like.
okay, right. So you
People
are
will
saying
not
that
take
people
this
might
kindly.
not, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. No, but the other questions, Rohit, what happens to the finance portfolio now? Will they give? I mean, will Fadnavis be ready to part with the finance portfolio?
No, I've just tweeted that about 3 hours ago, that they have told the NCP Ajit Pawar Ajit Pawar's party, the BJP has made it very clear that Fadnavis will take over finance department. There is no doubt about that. They are not giving the finance department, which was demanded by Chhagan Bhujbal and others, saying that please hand over all the portfolios that Ajit Pawar held. They are saying that you can take oath as deputy chief minister. That will be your prerogative. But Fadnavis has made it clear that he will be finance minister of Maharashtra from tomorrow. That is actually breaking news to some extent, because this is not. I don't know why channels and others are not reporting this in a major way. Because I was
Right.
just speaking to a senior BJP leader a few hours ago, and he confirmed this to me. Officially, I'm telling you this. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Okay.
Fadnavis will be presenting Maharashtra's latest budget in the assembly during budget session within 2-3 months, whenever the session happens. The
Right.
dates have not been announced. So
Right.
the BJP has already snatched away an important portfolio of the richest, wealthiest state in Maharashtra. That is about 7 lakh crore rupee budget annually from the NCP, the clock symbol party. And
Right.
perhaps they might allow Sunetra Pawar or some other leader to retain the excise ministry, state excise ministry, which Ajit Pawar held. Perhaps that might happen. Another big question is what happens to other positions that Ajit Pawar had. For instance, the Guardian minister's post in Pune district, because for the benefit of your viewers who may not be otherwise very politically aware but might be interested today because all this is happening, I'll tell you that there is a system, at least in Maharashtra, I'm sure it is there in other states also, that you have a guardian minister for each district. And uh, Ajit Pawar insisted when he joined the BJP-led NDA that Pune's district guardian minister's position he should be given, which was there was a race between him and BJP leader Chandrakant Dada Patil, who's also an influential BJP leader in Maharashtra and very close to Amit Shah. So Ajit Pawar got into a tussle with the BJP and took away the guardian minister's position for Pune as well as Beed district. Now the guardian minister's role is to implement all the development schemes that come under DPDC, which is District Planning and Development Committee, which he sits with the collector of he or she minister, whoever sits with the collector of the district and decides every implementation of the funds that come from center or state government. So it's a very powerful position. Ajit Pawar held guardian minister's post for 2 districts. After Dhananjay Munde's resignation last year, he took over Beed also, and he has Pune also. He had Pune also. So the big question is who will be guardian minister? Whether the BJP will snatch that away from the NCP also. Such things are being discussed. Apart from that, Ajit Pawar held multiple. Wore multiple hats, as I keep saying. He was the chairman of several cooperative societies, several sugar factories, and many other places, and he was very aggressively getting into all those local elections and ensuring that those positions stay with him. Now,
Right.
who takes over? For instance, Maregaon sugar factory, or there are many, and there are credit societies, cooperative societies. So it's
Right.
a huge vacuum, Nilu, that Ajit Pawar has left, and there are
But
many questions
one
about
thing,
who takes
Rohit,
over.
one question I had in mind, and then I'll take the concluding comments from Vivek also. That how much of say Sunetra Pawar is really going to have in Fadnavis cabinet? Of course, they've given her this post. Now, is that enough for her? And how is she really going to wield her influence? That is the
This
biggest
is
point. Now, is she going to remain a deputy CM, someone like Eknath Shinde, sulking behind but not getting too much to do in the cabinet?
Now, this is it's very obvious that I don't, it's very obvious and very clear that you have Sunetra Pawar now walking in the corridors of power, maybe you can call it, Rashtravadi Bhavan, which is Nationalist Congress Party's headquarters in Mumbai,
Yes.
walking there, getting elected as, the group leader for the assembly, whatever group they have in Maharashtra Assembly, 41 MLAs, then walking or driving towards which was known as Raj Bhavan earlier, but now it is called Lok Bhavan, where the governor house, you can call it, where the swearing in will happen in 10 minutes from now. And point is, she has Praful Patel on her left and Sunil Tatkare on her right. These are, very experienced, very shrewd, very smart, very, uh, I would say, uh, you know, uh, experience again. I mean, mainly they know how to control things, how to manipulate things, how to get things done from their leader, even if the leader is like somebody like Ajit Pawar, for instance. They were the ones who guided him and convinced him that they have to go with the BJP, join the India alliance 3 years ago in July of 2023. They joined in the first week of August. They are going to drive Sunetra Pawar. It's very clear that they are going to be on her left and on her right, and they are going to decide almost all the things. Sunetra Pawar has been in Rajya Sabha for some time, and I saw some BJP spokespersons a few minutes ago on regional TV channels saying, we welcome Sunetra Pawar in the cabinet, and she's experienced, she's a Rajya Sabha member, she's not just a housewife, etc. So BJP is already getting into this thing of supporting Sunetra and making it clear that they wanted it this way or whatever. It's becoming very obvious that they have brought in a person who will be controlled and perhaps you can use the word manipulated by some others who are under the influence of BJP. It is very obvious. So
Right.
that I think that answers your question more or less.
Yes, absolutely. And I think you're right, because I was also watching a few TV channels. In fact, BJP spokespersons went to the extent of saying that, look, we batted for the Ladli Bahena scheme, and now you have a Ladli Bahen as the deputy CM. So BJP spokespersons are going to the extent of talking in that vein as well. But coming for the concluding comments, Vivek, I'm more worried about what Eknath Shinde's next move is going to be. He is not going to be a man who's going to watch everything silently. I was speaking to a few people, and they said that don't be surprised if he just walks over to Sharad Pawar. Now, does that mean that Maharashtra politics now, till the next elections, whether it is a Vidhan Sabha or the Lok Sabha, is it going to remain as unstable as it was earlier?
Actually, Nilu, when initially Eknath Shinde joined hands with Devendra Fadnavis to form this Mahayuti government, and I think Ajit Pawar came subsequently. Everybody knows that. So why Ajit Pawar was drafted in was to give a short shrift to Eknath Shinde. I mean, put Eknath Shinde in place. So that was the whole plan behind bringing Ajit Pawar. Of course, I mean, getting those numbers was also very important, but to balance the monopoly of Eknath Shinde in manipulating things, they brought Ajit Pawar. Now and if Ajit Pawar would have gone with Sharad Pawar and parted ways with the BJP as the things now suggest, it would have been very difficult for BJP and Fadnavis to manage Eknath Shinde. What eventually could have happened is they could have some of the manner in which these four leaders of Ajit Pawar's NCP have acted. It was quite possible that in the event of two senior Pawars thinking of coming together, a lot of them could actually have joined the BJP per force. I mean, because they didn't want the two NCPs to come together, so they might have subsumed their identity in the BJP. Of course, I mean we don't have to witness that event now that Sunetra Pawar is with BJP. So all those four leaders who wanted it not to happen are with the BJP at the end of the day. But Eknath Shinde would definitely be nonplussed now because BJP doesn't depend entirely on him. And what happens to Eknath Shinde in the days to come, we will have to wait and watch. I don't see any possibility of Eknath Shinde joining hand with Sharad Pawar. I mean, at least not in near future. He will stay on with the BJP because there are a lot of things at stake. He needs to be in power. He can't get out of power. And as long as he's in power, he can make those maneuvers, particularly in BMs and all. So I think Eknath Shinde will now stay cool. He will have to remain in the background and wait for his day, wait for his moment in the sun, if at all it comes.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll have to end it here. Thank you so much, Rohit Chandawakar, for joining on the Federal. Thank you, Vivek. Thank you very much.
Thank you.